I now call this meeting of the Amateur Detective Club to order. My name is Tristan Miller. I'm the saucy sleuth.
I'm Melissa Meli, the spy.
I'm Tyler Riley, cop and a half.
Today's show is brought to you by Audible. Audible is offering our listeners a free audiobook with a 30-day trial membership. Go to audibletrial.com/adcpod and browse the unmatched selection of audio programs. Download a title free and start listening. It's that easy. Go to audibletrial.com/adcpod. The reason I always stumble in that same place is I start getting bored. And I start thinking about other things, not the thing I'm talking about, because I can think about like something else while I'm talking, unfortunately. There's a good Carrie Fisher biography. I listened to it. It's good. Listen to it. It's great.
What's it called?
Carrie Fisher, Life on the Edge. Also, today we're in QED Studios, so if it sounds different and you hate it, too bad.
Well, we're in an actual podcasting room.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Melissa.
As opposed to Tristan's office.
Yeah, in home studio.
Which has, like, some soundproofing, and then
and
a
some
door.
Books and a door and wide open spaces.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're talking about Soldier's Play, which is on Broadway, but not for much longer.
Yes, A Soldier's Play closes on March 15th.
Yes.
So
So you've got, 2 weeks to see it if you're in the New York area. And maybe do that. It's real good.
Yeah.
Spoiler. We liked it.
Save it for the ratings, Melissa.
Oh, come on.
Messed it up. We got to start all over again.
Oh, boy. Yeah. There's a movie, too, right?
Yes, A Soldier's Story. A Soldier's Play premiered off-Broadway in the early 1980s. I want to
Yes.
say 83?
81.
81, okay.
Ooh.
At the Lortel, the Lucille Lortel Theater.
Don't know.
And it's written by Charles Fuller.
I hardly know her.
Of course.
Well, like you paused for so long. I had to fill the silence with something.
Apparently, it's loosely based on Herman Melville's novella Billy Budd.
Oh.
Interesting.
Thanks,
I did not know
Wikipedia.
that.
Yeah. So it's about people in the army
Yes.
in World War II, right?
Yes, it's
Yeah.
a whodunit on a military base.
Very fun.
Yeah, and it takes place in Louisiana, so they're not overseas at this point, but it is an army base. It's 1944, and the place starts off with, a character coming on stage. He seems pretty drunk, and he's yelling something, and then you see him get shot.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Sergeant Waters meets his untimely demise at
Yeah.
the very top of the show.
Yeah.
We just get right into it.
And who played him in this one again? What's the actor's name?
David Allen Greer, who was a
Right.
member of the original company.
Yeah.
And is also in the film.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he played a different character in that, right?
Yes. He was, oh gosh. He was one of the soldiers. Now he has aged into the role of Sergeant Waters.
Yeah.
It's really interesting because he got a round of applause, as is customary, unfortunately, in my opinion, for well-known actors to receive. And then, yeah, I'm one of those. It's
like
fine.
it.
I know. I hate it. Breaks the fourth wall for me. And I'm like, what is happening?
It's like an old theater tradition. I wish people still shouted bravo because I would do that
Okay.
all the time.
But he comes on, he gets the applause, he gets shot, and I was like, oh, so that's his whole part? That was my initial thought. I was like, what?
It's the ultimate diva role.
Yeah,
You
I was
just
like-
come on, act for, 30 seconds, get your applause,
Yeah.
and then come on for the curtain call.
Absolutely.
Just straight Drew Barrymoring it
Yeah.
Mhm.
on stage.
Yeah.
Love it.
Absolutely.
No, there's lots of flashbacks,
Yeah.
fortunately. So we get to see a lot more of him.
Mhm.
And he's great. So that is good.
So he gets shot, and the main suspect is in Louisiana, that the KKK did it, but no one really buys that in the company that we are focused on, which is all African-American people, right? In the squad, what is it?
In this, I believe squadron is the proper term. I could
Okay.
be
'Cause
wrong in that. Like, they are, like, it's not an all-black military base, but
Yeah,
like
yeah,
in
yeah.
this,
Clump.
Yeah.
That's the
people.
technical term for sure.
Yeah, a clump of people.
Battalions are bigger, right?
Yeah, battalions, and then
battalions are
technically,
much bigger.
I think a squad is 4 people because it's quad, but I don't know for sure. I was
Maybe
never.
originally.
Yeah, never in the army.
I'd
So
like to
far.
phone an ADC partner. Can we get Rich on the phone? To
Yeah.
I know,
talk
right?
us through?
He's gonna listen to this, and be like, oh, "You fucking idiots."
My boyfriend is former Army, so he would know exactly what we're talking about. And he has told me, repeatedly what things mean. And I just forget a lot of them. I remember some things, though.
So, no one believes that, and so this
So Captain
Yeah.
Davenport,
Davenport.
who is a black Army officer of high standing, has been sent to investigate this crime.
Mm-hmm.
Played by Blair Underwood.
Yes, much to the ladies' delight.
Yeah,
in
there
the
was a
audience.
scene where he did not have a shirt on, and he got a longer applause break than him and Alan Clare for his 3 ab muscle. I was very impressed.
So what we have to talk about this for a second because it was the opening of Act 2, and he's
Yeah.
like talking,
Yeah.
and it was like he wasn't even fully shirtless. Like there have been shirtless men all in this
Yeah,
play, and it was rather nice, but he's not even completely shirtless. He just has his button down open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like the audience collectively could not hold their thoughts in.
Yeah.
And there was a big vocal reaction from
Yeah.
everyone.
And I apologize to the two of you for my reaction.
Oh, no. I did think, oh, nice.
Yeah.
Which was like, as
But
far as I go.
Yeah, but it just kind of became funny because it was like no one meant to.
Yeah.
No one meant that to be out loud.
And he had
But
to
it was
take
like,
a
oh.
pause.
But yeah,
Yeah.
you could just see in his spirit
Mm-hmm.
that it was upsetting to him.
Oh, yeah. He was
that
like,
he has that this moment has to be stopped because people just
Are-
can't keep it in their pants.
Yeah.
I know. I was sitting there, I think, in the balcony,
Mhm.
like with my hands in front of my face laughing because it was inappropriate but also extremely funny to me.
yeah, it's no betrayal, but
No.
But it
Subscribe
also
to our Patreon if you
Well-
want to know what that's about.
well, it was also one
We
of those-
haven't been at every performance to know.
That's true.
But I'll also say this is like, well, it made sense because, in musicals, you have a big number to come in after the intermission to make sure people come back. And in this one, you have a vague outline of a man's body.
It's not advertised as such.
No.
No.
Vague. It seemed pretty real to me.
Okay.
Right. So anyway,
But back to Act 1.
back to like the second scene of the play.
Yes.
Captain Davenport comes in and he is. I am not going to be able to say that with a
Yep.
straight face.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Adventure Zone.
Has a character named
Captain
Captain
Davenport.
Davenport, and he can
Oh,
only say
okay.
his own name, Davenport. And it's like, Davenport! And it's like all I could think during the play as well, anytime they said his name. And I was like, oh, that sucks for me, because I can't take
Oh
this.
man, now I can't listen to the Adventure Zone because I'm just going to be thinking of Blair Underwood.
Please.
Amazing. Yes. So he comes in, he has been assigned to solve this murder. And he meets with another captain who is familiar with this. We're going to call it a squadron. Sorry if that's wrong. To, investigate the rewinding. So Captain Davenport is meeting with the other captain who is a white man who has familiarity with the squadron. And he's one of those guys, and he was played by Jerry O'Connell.
Yes, of Joe's Apartment fame.
For me, Big Bang Theory.
Hmm.
The two genders.
Someone also mentioned Captain Kangaroo.
Oh,
Or no,
yeah.
Kangaroo Jack.
That's where I know that
Captain
mother.
Kangaroo.
Jack.
He's in Kangaroo Jack, yes!
He was in like some 90s stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Can I sidebar for a second? I
Sure.
know we only have like an hour in the studio, but I need to talk about Kangaroo Jack. It was the most disappointing film I'd ever seen as a child because in the trailer, the kangaroo was talking, he was rapping, he was like dancing around, and then in the movie, it's just like a vaguely PG comedy about them trying to get money back. And that's the whole plot, is like
Did the
kangaroo
steal the money?
has put on a hoodie that has like $30 million or something in the pocket.
Damn, that's some big
Wait,
pockets.
yeah,
on
or
that.
whatever.
Hold on. The kangaroo
Yeah.
put on a hoodie.
Yeah. As
That
they
had
were camping. That has
money
money in
in
it.
the pocket.
Or something of value.
Well, I mean, it is the 90s. The kangaroo can't rap without a hoodie.
That is true.
That's
Not
true.
yet. We hadn't gotten to that level of
We haven't
progress.
gotten, yeah.
All I'm saying is, if the kangaroo actually was intending to commit the crime, it has its own built-in pocket. So why would they need the hoodie?
Because he liked
Mystery
the hoodie.
solved.
Yeah.
It gets cold at night.
No,
where
that's
he is.
fine. I'm just saying.
I
You
know.
wouldn't put the money in the pocket of the. You would put the internal pocket, the kangaroo's actual pocket.
I don't think the kangaroo knew that he had money.
Yeah, I think he just wanted to wear the hoodie.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's
what
still
I'm saying-
theft, though, because a hoodie.
Nope.
You,
Okay,
he
sorry,
stole a hoodie.
I'm going to let you go for this. 'Cause
What I'm saying is
Okay.
that definitely means that it was not intentional that the kangaroo stole it, because what kangaroo would be so stupid to put money in its outer pockets when you could put it in the inner pocket?
But that's what the kangaroo would want you to think, Melissa. Like,
May
these
I have the
fools
floor,
are going to
please?
check my internal pocket. Little do they know.
Even Bloomberg is like, that's too personal. But like, so two things. The kangaroo in this movie is not sentient. It does not have intents. It does not have motives. It is just like, oh, I saw a thing, I put it on, and I ran away. So number one.
Nope, I like our movie better.
Yeah, I agree. Once again, it was the most disappointing film of my childhood because the kangaroo's like not a character. He's just like running away the whole time. Second of all, did you know that kangaroos' pockets are moist? They have a membrane in there. They're not warm. They're warm, but they're not soft. They're squishy. It's like, imagine if you had a bunch of jelly in your hair and you were rubbing that.
Yeah.
Or you put jelly on a long-haired cat.
Right.
You know, as one does. This isn't staying in, but it might.
No,
It's funny enough.
I get it. Like, I wouldn't think it was dry. It's like too close to like the body. Like, I would expect moisture.
Yeah, it's like
But are squishy and soft mutually exclusive?
No,
No,
can be
no.
Something
Okay.
can be squishy and soft for sure.
yeah, like a kangaroo's pouch.
Oh, okay,
Or
yes. If you had just
you
said-
know,
It's
or a hairy
hard
man's
and
grundle.
Squishy. No.
Wait, what's the grundle? That's not.
That's
Is that the gooch?
Yeah, it's the gooch, the magical doorway, the bridge to Terabithia. Yeah.
Okay, many people have died on mine.
Oh,
Oh.
don't you love doing a podcast with two boys?
Sorry, Mom.
Oh God. That's
So
right.
he shows up. You're so just at the beginning of this thing still.
We have just introduced 3 characters so far.
It's real good. Which captain? There's a couple of other captains. Is he Captain Taylor, Jerry O'Connell? Anyway,
I should have
Captain
saved
Kang-
the playbill.
We're gonna
Call
call
him Captain Kangaroo.
Captain Kangaroo. Great.
Yeah.
So Jerry O'Connell is one of those guys who's like, I'm
Captain Taylor.
Captain
Sorry,
Taylor.
It is Captain Taylor.
Thank you. He's like, I'm not racist, and I'm gonna tell you how I'm not racist while I demonstrate how I am. Kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but as far as like racism goes, like
During
it's
that
not
time.
that bad. Like
No.
even by today's
Yeah.
standards of what
Yeah.
non-racist racists
Sure.
are.
And
Yeah,
a lot of his points
He's
were
Pete
like,
Buttigieg.
yeah, sure.
basically.
Like he's
Aw, rip.
racist, but
Yeah.
But not in the most damaging possible
Yeah.
way.
Not in the most outward. I will also say a lot of his, racism comes to the fact that he's like, I know that you would be good at this, but no progress will be made because the local people will not respect you as a black person.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is like, that's not like him being racist. That's unfortunately him like
no, that's
copping to this system.
Yes, absolutely.
copping to
Nah,
the system.
yeah, because he's a cop.
Basically. So yeah, they go back and forth for a little while. after eventually they come to a point where Captain Davenport is just like, you know what? I'm going to question these people and I'm going to figure it out, and I am going to be successful at it. So there. And he starts meeting with the soldiers.
Yeah, and it's through these interviews with the soldiers that we start to get these flashback moments that Melissa said earlier.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's really nice because it was really interesting. We can talk about staging for like the first time on the podcast. This is the first time we've done a play, which is real cool.
Thank God.
Yeah, it really is about time.
No, it is. I mean, it's how we met doing a play.
That's true.
Yeah. So I was really excited to see, because it's for Broadway especially, a pretty minimal set. Like, it has nice levels and stuff, but like there's not a whole heck of a lot to it. But the way they used the space was really fantastic. And also the way they did the flashbacks, they barely even did anything with lighting. It was just like, this is where this scene is taking place, and it's kind of next to, because you see like the soldier talking to Davenport in the interview, and then you see him interacting in the flashback, and it was completely clear which he was doing at all times, and they didn't do anything fussy. Like they didn't like, you know, they kind of spatially divided it off, but like just in your brain, there was nothing physical that was like, oh, this is this space and this is this space. It was really, really good. I really liked that. And it was something that as a director, it helped me realize like, no, just act like you're in the space and people will believe it.
Yeah.
Really good. Really good direction.
And during this like introduction of Davenport to the soldiers, it's like very reminiscent to, I saw my mind because I saw it recently. Remember the Titans? When Denzel Washington's character first comes to the school and like the black students are like, some of them are like timid and others are like, oh man, like this is our time.
Right.
And then he quickly puts those ones in check.
Yeah.
Immediately. And that is a similar vibe to this, his introduction to the soldiers in this play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it comes out that this Sergeant Waters was not a great guy. He was pretty, for lack of a better term, to his men.
He was what's known as a big meanie.
Yeah, he was a big meanie.
Yeah.
And
All in favor of big meanie?
Aye. So a bunch of them had grudges against him for various reasons. And he initially was, he's from the North, and he apparently did not like black men from the South. And it was kind of manifested a lot in this one character who played the guitar and played songs a lot.
Memphis, right?
Yeah. Memphis. And at first he seemed to like be interested in the music he was playing.
Really took a shine to him.
Yeah, but then it kind of became something very disapproving.
Yeah. It was clear after a while that it wasn't necessarily like an act, it was interest, but it was so he could figure out how to break him properly.
Yeah.
Right.
You know. Then there's also, who's the guy that used to be...
Well, we see Wilkie, who was a sergeant who was demoted for being drunk on duty.
Yes.
And I don't remember exactly in the order. I know he's early on in the play.
I think he's either first or second.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he's a real yes man.
Yeah, like he describes him as being strict but fair.
Yeah.
The soldiers are also, like this particular group, are... like they play baseball.
Yeah, they're a baseball team because a couple of them used to play in the old Negro leagues.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is, I think, a really nice touch. And I love baseball. I love baseball history, so that was really cool for me to see.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, yeah.
And it just kind of highlights kind of like the kind of this undercurrent of things going on this space, like this frustration that's been brewing with this group, because they're kind of like the last ones to leave this space to go and fight because they're black. So they're kind of stuck here in the South in Louisiana, playing baseball and doing like menial jobs. Like
Yeah.
they're like painting and
Yeah.
like doing carpentry work on base instead of going out and actually fighting, which is what they want to do.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're supposed to have like a pretty big game. They're supposed to play like
The Yankees.
The Yankees.
Yeah.
There, from my understanding, there are leagues within the Army, and whoever wins the league championship gets to play against the Yankees. And throughout the play, they keep bringing this up, and eventually they don't get to play the Yankees. They miss it by one game for a very specific reason.
Well, to be fair, Louisiana had played the Yankees before.
Mm.
But Civil War.
Yeah. What I will say is really wonderful about this play as well is a look at how the way Black people are treated in America, and specifically during this time, is just an extension of like the idea of slaves, of like they have them doing all the menial work and they're not really respected and this sort of thing, and how that continues on and on and on and on and on, and it's still a very pervasive issue, obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah. Which is why I have Tyler do all the editing, and I have him carry my bag. No. Risky joke for this podcast.
I've already written a report to the NAACP.
Okay, well, tell them I say hello.
If you're listening to this, I am the new host.
Oh dear.
Can I get canceled for my own dumb joke? Yes, it turns out.
Yep. So pretty early on, one of the first interviews, I should say, it comes out that one soldier in particular really stood up to Waters a lot and really didn't want to take any of his crap. So, I mean,
I know, it's just so positive. Yeah.
And what was that character's name? Which one was he?
He was the only one with glasses.
He was the one with
Peterson.
glasses.
So
Peterson.
in my mind, I called him Specky, which isn't nice, but it is what I called him in my mind.
Well, I thought he was quite a spectacle.
Oh, he is. He was very
Oh.
nice looking.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All these men are constantly either shirtless or like in tank tops, and they're all jacked, obviously, because they're all in the Army. It's aesthetically like nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's nice. It's not like 300, but it's nice.
I was not mad about it at all.
Yeah. And as
yeah.
we all know, baseball pants make everybody's butt look good.
They do.
Yeah.
They
That's
really
the
do.
real reason you should watch baseball. It's for the butts.
Oh my gosh, if Jennifer Lopez and Alex Rodriguez have kids, good God, then.
Oh,
Good God.
that is true.
That's not fair.
Wow.
It's not fair to me. It's not fair to them. It's not fair to God.
God is like, that's why y'all met when you turned 50.
Oh God.
All right. So he doesn't
yeah.
take any of his guff.
Guff.
No.
There we go.
And Peterson was the one that challenged Waters to the fight, right?
Yeah. Well, yes. Yeah, it gets tense, and then he does, in fact, physically assault him, and then Waters, he pushes him to the ground, and then Waters is like, okay, let's meet behind the shed, and then it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So does this next bit happen first, or do we learn about the two soldiers the two other soldiers that had an interaction with Waters
That night.
I don't think we're there yet. I think we learn that, Davenport learns that Waters charged one of them. Oh,
Yeah.
charged Memphis?
Yes, Memphis.
With the murder of
Yes.
a white
Yeah.
person of rank.
Yeah.
After a search
okay.
conducted, a search was conducted, and then they found a pistol under Memphis's bed.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So Memphis, the happy-go-lucky guitar-playing guy that kind of kept everyone's spirits up,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
was kind of sent to solitary.
That is
right?
correct.
Yeah.
Yep. Full Great Escape.
Yeah. And
Memphis struck Waters at one point, right?
yeah, during that whole
During the
accusation.
scuffle. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
He did he punch him or did he
I
just
think
push him?
I think he punched him.
Yeah,
I think it was
he
like a
punched
one
him.
whack, and he realized right after that it was not the right move.
No.
Yeah.
No. He immediately was like, "I'm so sorry." Oops.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't do a hit.
Yeah, and it's very troubling, obviously, for everyone who witnesses it.
And then we get the flashback to Solitary,
Yeah.
Yeah.
where Memphis is talking about like, well, we get the sense that his like whole demeanor and outlook has changed. He's claustrophobic.
Yeah.
Um,
His guitar strings, which they did allow him to bring, all the guitar strings, one of them broke, so he can't play guitar anymore. So he's going a little. His mind is unraveling.
Yeah, he's not taking it well, understandably.
Yeah. Isn't there like another person? Aren't there 4 people? We have Memphis, we have Wilkie, we have Peterson. Don't we have one more?
we have Memphis, and then do we?
Um,
Because
No.
there were 4 beds on
there
stage.
were. I think there were actually 5 or 6 men.
So Wilkie, Peterson,
Mm-hmm.
Wilkie, Peterson, Memphis.
And then,
Some other guy.
well, I have a list of characters,
Okay.
but it
Okay.
doesn't say who they are in the
Okay.
play. Corporal Cobb,
No.
Private Smalls.
No.
Who are they?
They are the 2 other men. I
Oh,
believe.
Cobb is
Yeah.
Memphis's best friend that goes to visit him.
Yes. Okay. There we go. Because that's.
And then Cobb is also one that reveals to Davenport that
Right.
Waters had kind of revealed that it was a
He-
setup.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like this was his punishment.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, and to try and break him of his
Which is
demeanor.
interesting because Cobb was
Mhm.
the part originally played by David Allen Greer.
Oh,
Oh.
very interesting.
Okay. There we go.
And then comes out that Wilkie hid the gun underneath Memphis's bed because he was following orders, et cetera, because he's a yes man because he wants to get his stripes back
Yeah.
Right.
desperately.
But at the urging of Sergeant Waters.
Yeah.
So
And then we also, did I already say that we learned that Memphis hung himself?
No.
no.
Okay.
But he
We learned that Memphis hung
he
himself.
hangs himself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was,
It was deeply upsetting.
Yeah.
And then is this when we meet the 2 other officers
Yeah.
that are suspected
I
in
believe
Waters'
so.
murder?
I think that's the next big plot point.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So there's these 2 white fellas that we're seeing around.
Wilcox and Bird.
Thank
Right.
you. These names. Love it.
Great word.
Like,
great
okay,
names,
I
yeah.
love it because it's accurate to the time, but also I do love the fact that every play has just like, what are these? Who's named Howie anymore? You know what I mean? Like,
I actually dated a guy named Howie for like 3 years.
well, you're from New York, so it's different.
Okay.
Everyone who lives in New York is in a play. I don't know. It's like Truman Show, only we never. Anyway. But yeah, so they were seen around Waters during that time, and so they are now suspected of foul play. So he goes in and he interviews them.
Yeah, and there we get the flashback to the way they treated Waters, and
who
it-
was of higher rank
Oh, yeah.
than them.
Yeah.
and Waters was pretty drunk when he encountered these 2 guys, and they were started out being really not nice to him, and then one of them ends up like kicking him.
Yeah, kicking the crap out of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a Ralphie Christmas Story situation.
I mean, weird reference, but very accurate.
Thank you. Well, when I think of violence, I think of that one, because as a child, that deeply upset me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was very sensitive to that.
Well,
Fun
that makes sense
fact,
then.
in that movie, you can hear the father say, "Mother." He just says it
Yeah.
in that PG film about Christmas. He just says, "Mother." You can just...
Well, I mean, it was already a risque film when
Yeah.
you saw that shot of a leg lamp. I mean, that was a
yeah.
very,
Yeah.
very non-family friendly object.
So, but they're kicking the crap.
And it's really one guy more than
The other guy's like, please stop. This is not
Yeah.
appropriate.
Yeah, but
You know, how good cops be.
Yeah.
right, basically.
There's always one in every narrative. I love Kevin Costner in Hidden Figures.
Oh, R.I.P.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I'm glad we didn't even have to say moment of silence. We all just took that moment.
Yeah, absolutely. I told Rich, and I was like, she was 101, and Rich is like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And it's like one of those,
Yeah.
like it is, the loss is sad, but it's like, she lived 101 years and got people to the moon. Like,
Oh, I thought you were talking about like the fact that that's a prime number.
oh, yeah.
oh,
Yeah,
that is
it's
nice.
binary as well, which is what the computers use. So it's a nice little...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just, it's, you know,
No.
too often we hear about people, you know, dying at like 60 or even
Yeah.
younger. And this is like, well, good for her kind of thing.
Yeah.
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 No, yeah. She had a nice long life that seemed productive and really, like, she did good stuff and got some recognition.
Yeah, I got a
for
movie
it.
made about her life.
Yeah,
so
she-
that's not too bad. That's nothing to sneeze at.
Well done. You did, yeah.
You did good.
But still sad.
Yeah.
Yes.
But so they're being interrogated about that night, and then Davenport
Yeah.
kind of pushes them to try and make them confess. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't.
Right, because we learned that they like couldn't have
Yeah.
because like he dismisses them and Jerry O'Connell is like oh wait no I just remembered his name
Captain
Taylor.
Mm-hmm. Captain Taylor Swift.
Captain
Captain Kangaroo.
Captain Taylor is like getting on Davenport's case, like how could you let them go?
Yeah,
Obviously, you know, they're hiding, you know,
Something.
great animosity towards Waters. Like they obviously did it. He's like, no, because like there is some point in questioning where it's revealed like they didn't even have the ammunition
Yeah.
needed
Yeah.
for the gun that was used in the murder.
Yeah. So then we find out that one of the soldiers has run away. Is that right?
Two of them.
Two of them.
Two of them have, they're
Yeah.
AWOL.
We
Yeah.
forgot about
AWOL,
Smalls.
but-
Smalls doesn't talk often
Right.
enough, but Peterson and Smalls have gone away.
Yes.
I say before we get into the rest of it and our thoughts, we should probably take a break.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, yeah.
Hey everybody, it's your friend Tristan, the Saucy Sleuth, coming at you again with another ad break. Once again, we are on the Scavengers Network. You can go to scavengersnetwork.com and check out all their awesome content there. We're currently trying to get a grant for small businesses. Please vote for us there. You can go to Colin's Twitter or the Scavengers Network Twitter to see where you can do that. Please donate to our Patreon. You get bonus clips and early access to all of our episodes, with some exception. We're also going to be putting out a survey on our Facebook and Twitter feeds that we would love to hear from you. We're trying to make this show better and cater to the needs of the people who listen to it. If you like plays and you like hearing about plays and you like hearing about this and you're here, so you obviously at least are willing to listen to three people talk about plays. Tyler is in a production called Fool for Love, which is done by Company of Fools. You can go to companyoffools.com or look for them on Facebook if you're in the New York area. The run is, I think, next month or the following. I don't have the dates in front of me, but please check that out. That's pretty much it, other than go to audibletrial.com/adcpod. All right. Well, sorry for swearing so much in this one. I did a lot of curses. I had a long day. Thanks for listening. Okay, love you. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
And what happens? Davenport tracks down Smalls, right? And is able to talk to him.
Whoever is Memphis's friend, he finds
Cobb?
Yeah, Cobb, and they have him in
it's Cobb.
solitary, and then it is through that interrogation while he's in solitary,
okay.
it's revealed that Peterson
Yeah.
shot Waters.
Yeah.
Because he hated the man, and he hated that he essentially made Memphis hang himself.
Yeah.
He also was the one that came up with the idea to essentially throw the last baseball game to be like, screw you, we're not putting up with this anymore.
Yeah.
We do get
Yeah.
a bit of information before that reveal, where we get the confirmation again from Wilkie that he planted the gun under Memphis's bed, and that Waters had also divulged his time during World War I and the internalized racism from Waters and like where that stemmed from. Because during World War I, he helped lynch a black soldier who was acting a little bit too friendly with the French civilians.
Yeah.
Like he was being treated very well and like leaned into it, and that kind of brewed this animosity.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not a bright play. It's not. It's no Matilda.
And we also get the information at the end that their squadron is being sent overseas.
Yeah.
Yes.
Except for the two people that are now arrested.
Right.
He also feels he feels incredibly guilty about the fact that Memphis hanged himself. And that is why after that, everyone said that he went through a change. And he became more and more belligerent, more and more drunk, and was drunk on duty constantly, and just really unraveled. And that the guilt of this had just like really weighed him down and caused a lot of upset.
Yeah. And then at the end of the play, we find out that during the war, all of the soldiers that went overseas died.
Yep, almost immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Not a fun play. Very good play. Can I tell you something that really, and this, I don't know what I was expecting, but there's the scene where they recreate the flashback where Waters gets shot, and both times the firearm went off. It scared me to death. And for the next, 3 days, I'm like, hey, so anybody can just pull a gun and kill you. And, that was kicking around in my mind for a while, which was not helpful in my working at in childcare and trying to live my life. But it was very effective, well staged. Also, there was such the first shot comes out of nowhere. There's still dialogue.
Yeah.
And then there's a long pause. And then the second, it's very well done. Very frightening.
Yeah, it is.
Guns are scary, guys.
Guns are very scary. I'm constantly terrified because I listen to so much true crime.
Ah, there it
I
is.
just listened to a whole 15-episode series on the Zodiac Killer, which is the most terrifying thing because it's so random, and they never caught him.
Yeah,
Well, we almost elected him.
but
Some people think it might have been the Unabomber, which is actually one of the most plausible theories I've heard. Anyway, I won't get into Zodiac theories on this here.
I did see a
podcast.
shirt recently that was like, roses are red, violets are blue. I watched enough crime shows, they'll never find you.
Oh, God.
I never wanted a shirt so bad. It had blood splatter on it. It's a
Wow. That's a lot.
excellent delivery. I do have a question.
Yeah.
Out of how many are we rating this? 5 or 10? It's a play. It's a new. Is it is it pass fail?
Oh
Jeez.
God.
Both Tyler and I reacted like, why are we degrading it to pass fail?
No,
I say stripes. This is a show about the military.
Okay.
Sure, and I
but
think
how
10
many-
because it had an intermission.
Yes.
Okay. 8.5. 8.5 to 9. I really liked it. No, I'll give it a 9. I don't go out much for theater. I like it once it's like the gym with me. Once I'm there, I'm going to have a good time, but like getting there is such a pain because I think like, oh, it's so stupid. We're just lying and what is this going? I've become a grumpy old man. And I'm like, that's not, what do you do? That's not real.
It's so good that Tristan is an
Yeah,
actor.
I know,
but
but
okay.
like, I'm not a theater actor, though. And I've done theater, but I've never considered myself a theater actor.
Okay,
All right.
that's-
I've never, like, the reason I started doing theater is because I couldn't do film right away because there's no community film center in small towns in Minnesota. So it's like, it's nothing against it, but like, it's one of those things every time, like the first like 10, 15 minutes, I have like my arms crossed and I'm like, yeah, okay. I approach theater the same way a lot of people approach comedy shows where you're like, yeah, okay, I dare you to be good, which is not like helpful in any way. It's in fact very annoying to me specifically. But this play was really, really good, and I don't think there was anything wrong with it. Like, I can't think of how I would make it better other than have it be a movie, which it already is. And so I'll watch that and think if it's better than that, great. And if it's not, whatever. But I liked it a lot. I thought the plot was good. I thought the whodunit was good. I didn't see it coming. All the acting was very effective. The staging was good. The use of music throughout was very moving and very effective as well. So like I had 9.5. One of the best plays I've seen in a long, long time. I would say since Blue.
Oh, Paradise Blue.
Paradise Blue, which is another really good play. That Tyler brings me to plays. That's the only person I go to plays with.
Yeah, I've been to a couple plays with you, but that was
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah,
now.
it was a couple of years. We saw Puffs. It was also very good. It was very. Once again, it's like once I'm there, I'm fine. I'm just like a cranky baby. You have the floor. Either one of you.
Well, I actively like theater.
Well, excuse me.
I won't.
Oh,
Oh.
Oh.
twist.
Yeah. 9.5. It was really wonderful. I like the simplicity. I love seeing simple staging on Broadway. It's, deceptively simple because there's a lot of work that goes into it, but there's not like a whole lot of stuff that's weighing it down. It's just a very clear, like they let the acting speak for itself, which is excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And no one was capital A acting.
No.
Which was great. Can I tell you, I thought of the way it could be better if our seats were closer. That is the only way it could have been better. That's the only way. That's it.
I mean, yeah. We
We were in the last row. It was still very good, and I got,
Yeah,
no.
How much you pay for your tickets?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But the sightlines, what I was going to say, were still very, very good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it's at the American Airlines Theater, which is which is on 42nd Street between 7th and 8th.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, so like the Times Square-iest Times Square Theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a
Very
newer.
convenient to get to.
Yeah.
Because of that reason.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
A
exactly.
lot of tourists.
A lot of tourists and also a lot of sirens going on mid-act.
Yeah.
Which is always my least favorite part of going to Broadway shows. It's like also if you go to the Angelica movie theater, you hear the subways, and I'm like, what is this?
Well, I mean, you can't
Win
totally
them all.
soundproof, unfortunately.
Someone just making a sandwich real loud?
Yeah. So stupid. Just like, and now I'm putting on the mayo and the ham. Oh, I've left something here. Let me wrap it up. Sorry, it's very funny.
Anyway.
What you said, not what I did.
Yes. But yeah, great acting.
Mm-hmm.
Loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Would see it again.
Well, hurry soon. It closes March 15th.
And I will. What?
I told you to stop using your sexy voice.
All right, Shyla.
I am surprisingly, to myself, giving it a 10 out of 10 because it worked as just a straight up commentary on the time in which it was based. Like that, like in a play in and of itself, I thought was stellar. And then the whodunit is also like
Very
this
strong.
separate thing that's just like layered on top. But I feel like you could remove the two and still have like two very strong one-act plays.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I just love like the grittiness, the raw nature of it, and how real that ending is. Because like from the Civil War to Vietnam, like black bodies were just seen as these dispensable things. So it makes sense that when they were eventually called up after like wanting it so badly, they're immediately pushed to the front.
Yeah.
And also just seeing like seeing black on black violence in a way that it's understood that that is a byproduct of systemic racism within this country, and how we kind of tend to, how people kind of tend to be pitted against each other in such a way.
Yeah.
And just Memphis, just that whole story. Like you have like this bright, young character that's like it's just so full of life and positivity.
Yeah.
And just seeing how just shining so brightly like makes so many like can make someone just want to dim your light in like the worst way possible, and just watching or seeing that transition
Yeah.
so suddenly and so harshly but still so true. And just Davenport's final monologue and that guttural roar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
He does
oh
scream.
my God.
That's the only capital A acting moment, but it is like earned.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like just seemingly random.
And
it's filled to the brim.
yeah. The company that I work for, TDF, and in my department specifically, we're taking students to this.
Great.
We have 2 matinees we get to take students to, and one of our teaching artists actually previewed the show on a night where it was military night.
Oh.
And they have like this talk back, and they also had the consultant come and like lead the talk back, and the entire cast stayed.
Wow.
To talk, and they talked about that final roar. Because I was thinking about it after we saw it, and I was like, is that in the script? That's such a odd thing like to put in there. But I've also had to do like random yelling on stage when I felt like it wasn't earned. It's just there in the script.
Sure.
Yeah.
And
For all the pornos that you've done.
Sorry, Mom. But it's not in the script. He was just like, apparently like just in the moment, he talked about it with the consultant. He talked about it with the director, Tony Award winner Kenny Leon, about the moment. And he was just like filled up with so much anger in that situation about what becomes of these young men who only wanted to fight for their country. And just like that build up emotion just led to just like, I need to expel this out of me somehow, some way.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah. And it's also it's very tragic in as much as that's all they want, and they're ultimately betrayed by the country itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not, like I said, it's not like a fun, but it's
not
a
a
very
feel-good show.
good, very fine piece of art.
Yeah.
And just Peterson's, I'm not sure if it's his last line, but it's when he's confessing to killing Waters. This I did look up in the script. When talking about the murder of Waters, he says, I didn't kill much. Some things need getting rid of. And it's just like, oh my God.
Yeah. Like he saw him like a cockroach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like,
Not even like a cockroach, but like
Just
like a tumor or something.
Yeah.
That was like this is a bad. Yeah, this is killing us as well. So it needed to be cut out. Yeah.
All right.
Hope you enjoy our comedy podcast.
Listen, I got a couple good goofs in at the beginning.
No, yeah.
I mentioned porno at least once. That's how you know it's a comedy podcast.
As it turns out, Jerry O'Connell is a good actor.
yeah.
Yeah, he's
didn't
very
know.
good.
And
I
it's
would not
nothing
have-
against the man. It's just I think the things that I know him to have done are like less serious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's like, oh, turns out
He's quite good.
he's got chops.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone was like, we were literally in the back row. Everyone was big enough to be heard and understood, but none of it was unbelievable, which is fantastic.
Yeah, no, it was really incredible. I mean, Blair Underwood and David Alan Grier are excellent, but everyone in the supporting cast was great too.
Also, fun fact, and I hope I'm not jinxing him, so I'm knocking on wood as before I say this. David Alan Grier has gotten a Tony nomination for every role he's done on Broadway.
So
And I would like to see this trend continue because I think it is very well earned in this production.
Yeah, I think that there should be Tony voters who are listening to this. There should be a lot of nominations out of this one, in fact, for acting at least, but I think direction too. I think, very fun.
Kenny Leon's work has been pretty polarizing, but I think this, there's no denying his talent as a director.
Yeah, it's the thing is it's not flashy.
Yeah.
In this one, which I think is the best possible, but but sometimes awards organizations like some flashier things, but not in plays usually.
Yeah, Roundabout has really been stepping up. Roundabout Theater Company is the producer of this show. And their past couple of seasons, they've really surprised me.
Yeah, real good. All right, thank you for taking us to see this, Tyler. It was
it
great.
was fantastic.
Of course.
Yeah. Every time I go see a play with Tyler, I have a good time. And the one time I saw a play with Melissa that she took me to, I also had a good time. So maybe I do like plays, and maybe I just don't like leaving the home.
I think
that's probably it.
Oh, and before we wrap this episode up, A Soldier's Story, the film based on A Soldier's Play, is streaming on Crackle. So feel free to watch with ads.
Oh, okay.
What's Crackle?
What's Crackle?
A thing. It's like Sony's streaming service.
Oh.
It's like an app you can have I have it on my Fire Stick. I don't know if it's available.
Let's not get into that, Tyler.
Sorry, Mom.
All right.
I'm not going to think too hard about that.
I do it every night. I now
Well,
call.
I went to the doctor. I thought you got yours cleared.
I think we need to have an off-mic conversation. Guys.
I now call this meeting to an end. Thank you so much.
Gavel sound.
Uh.
Oh no!
Is that your roar?